Thank you for tuning in to Office Hours. I am one of your hosts, D Smooth, and I'm not here by myself. I'm with my other host.
Nick, nice to meet y'all.
Yes, and we want to thank you for tuning into Office Hours. This is the first episode, and we have our lovely guest, Liz. Thank you for taking time out of your day to be asked some questions and being the first guest. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
So, Liz, I think first foremost, is there anything you want to just say about your illness? I guess I don't want to speak for your journey just far as diagnoses or anything like that that you want the audience to know about that.
Yeah, sure. I officially have multiple learning disability diagnoses such as ADHD, dyslexia, uh, math learning disability. I also have scoliosis, hypermobility spectrum disorder, POTS. I've had surgery for my scoliosis, and I'm currently in the process of working on a few other diagnoses to add on, unfortunately. But, answers are important, and I feel that the more information I share, the more people can reflect and be like, oh, I also do those things, and maybe I need to go see a doctor. So I think it's important to share.
Gotcha. You mentioned some of your learning disabilities, and what do you think? I know we've spoken about the difficulties you've had with parents and things like that. Just why do you think there is a difficulty with parents and their teacher having a learning disability? Like, is there in teaching their children?
I think mostly because there's still a really big stigma against learning disabilities and the fact that people with learning disabilities can be successful in the world.
Mm,
Um, they think that the fact that my brain works differently is going to rub off on their children in a wrong way, instead of viewing it as, oh, this person views the
yeah,
world
yeah.
differently. So now my
So
child has this whole other
exactly.
view.
I
Yes.
get.
So Liz, I got a question. Well, a few questions for you. I would like to say, if you had the chance to change how people treat you at work, would you and why?
I I don't know if I would. I mean, obviously moving forward, I hope that I'm treated better than I have been in the past,
Yeah.
but I also learn to stand up for myself in situations where I wasn't getting the accommodations I needed. I was being treated differently because of the
Mm,
accommodations I needed in a workplace setting. Um, and I don't know if I would have grown that much that fast without having that
Mm,
there. I mean, I definitely don't want to continue to be discriminated against
yeah.
in a
yeah,
workplace setting.
yeah.
And I'm very open with all my employers about the
Mhm.
fact that I have said things going on and they still hire me knowing they have to follow these accommodations.
Yeah.
And then they
Yeah.
don't.
Mm.
And I just hope that the pushback that I gave and learning to stand up for myself can change it for somebody else. And
Yeah.
with the state of the world, I have no idea what that is going to look like moving forward.
Hmm.
It's very real that discrimination could and very well is landing right back in the workplace again.
Yes.
And
Right.
that's very scary. But I don't think I would change the experiences that I've had because I've had them for a reason.
Yeah.
But going
Going
forward,
forward?
I would love to be treated as an equal to my
Yes, of
counterparts that
course.
don't have disabilities.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
that's
said like of your accommodations, what if you could just kind of educate people, what accommodations do you have, or did you feel like that you when you asked for those, just the process of that?
Yeah. So I am allowed to eat at any point in time throughout the day.
yeah.
I'm allowed to sit, which both of those things in the world of education typically are frowned upon.
Really?
especially for teachers,
Mm.
because they're
Okay.
like, you shouldn't have anything in your mouth so kids can understand you. But I don't eat and talk at
Mm.
the same time, obviously.
Mm.
I snack when they're doing their own independent work,
Right.
and I sit, but I also know that monitoring the room is important. So I sit for a while, make sure my heart rate's
Hmm.
okay, and then I get up and I walk around for a while. I very much make it
Yeah.
as streamlined and equal as possible.
Hmm.
Um, and all of those accommodations came from my doctors.
Yes.
So I absolutely love my doctors. Just recently changed primary care and it's a lot better now.
That's
But
good.
just
I'm glad to hear that because I know primary cares can be
Yeah.
sketchy sometimes. It can be
yes,
hard. It
dealt
can be
with
hard.
some medical neglect for a while, but much better now. But just being
Okay.
open and honest with my doctors and being like, hey, this is my job. This is what it entails. Here are my symptoms. What do you think I need to be successful in this environment? And
Wow. Okay. That's a really great question. I've never thought to ask that.
doctors most of the time will have a pretty good answer, I have found. And the really good
Okay.
doctors will be like, it's your body. Here's some ideas, but what else do you think you need?
Mm,
Which
So,
right. Right. Okay.
um, yeah.
some people can be a little like, oh, what if you're taking advantage of it? What if you're this, that, or the other thing? And I'm like,
Hmm.
no person with a disability is taking advantage of accommodations.
Yeah.
We don't want to be any different from our counterparts.
Yeah,
We
and
just
I
want to do
think
our
sometimes people
jobs.
don't think of, yeah, you don't think about the internal questions because I do think sometimes, and I think about myself this way, like, they always say we offer that inner child in us, right? The inner child wants to fit in, right? Like we want to just do
Yep.
what everybody else is doing. Like, and so the idea that you have to be this adult and have this, need to do things but do it differently, it brings feelings. So I cannot stand when I hear that. It's like you're obviously not thinking just like how regular people are thinking about themselves. We just all want to do everything how everyone else. Like it's,
Yeah.
I guess I was a normal human reaction, I think.
Yes. So, Liz, to give the audience more intel or more detail about you, tell them where you teach at, where are you from? Yes.
Yeah. So right now I'm just subbing. I guess just subbing isn't a very good way to put it because
Yes.
I have
Subbing is a lot.
taken some
Subbing is a
abuse
lot.
in the world of
So
subbing.
so subbing is not, that's a lot.
Yeah. But I taught first grade when I first graduated. I
Mhm.
went to Western Washington University and graduated with my degree in early childhood special education with a dual endorsement in early childhood education and special education K through 12 and a minor in leadership studies. So I graduated with one of the biggest degrees that Western offers. And then went into co-teaching a first grade classroom, and then I moved into teaching a special education preschool classroom. Um, Absolutely love the preschool, love special education. That's exactly where I want to be. That's exactly where I'm meant to be. Um, Both came, gen ed and special ed came with their own set of difficulties with parents and students and faculty. Um, very different from one another in the way that I was treated.
Hmm.
Um, I,
What would be the differences?
yeah, so I noticed that special education parents were a lot more okay with the idea of their teacher having a disability because
Okay.
they already knew the hardship. They know that what I've been through, they know where I'm currently going and what I'm doing. And
Right.
they love to see that their child, there's a very real chance their child's going to be very successful in the world. And that's what they
Right.
want to see. And then with gen ed parents, I got a lot of pushback, a lot of that, you're not good enough to be my child's teacher. You're not cut out for this because of having disabilities. I don't want someone who's different from who they had as a teacher. But then that narrative changed drastically. I had a couple kids who ended up getting diagnosed with disabilities while I was teaching that gen ed classroom. And that drastically changed the narrative of the parent. They were like, oh, I want a teacher with a disability now. I want, like, my success wasn't valid until their child's success depended on it,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It makes sense. It makes sense. But it's, I guess you would want more. I'm of the belief you don't have to have something to be invested in someone else. Like, so that's really interesting that, you know, once their child this was their future, they had more investment and more belief in your abilities, which somehow has that's an interesting conversation all on its own.
Yeah. And I don't think parents really realize how individualized every single kid's education needs to be. You don't need to have a disability to need something taught a different way to you. You don't need to have a disability to need to get up and move. Like, we expect kids to sit for 15, 20, 30 minutes at like 5 years old. And that is just not biologically how their brains are wired. And like, your kids are going to be moving, your kids are going to be hands-on.
Yeah.
I'm going to do whatever your kid needs. And that may not always be the case with someone who doesn't come from the background of having disabilities and growing up not being diagnosed.
Yes. Yeah, so I mean, not to be nosy, but I see on your wall you have a picture of plants. So are you a plant person? A plant mom? I guess
I'm
you'd
a
say.
big time plant mom.
Oh
I
yes.
have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plants in my living room right now, and I have 3 in my bedroom.
Okay,
These are all puzzles. I'm a big puzzle person, and
okay,
so
yes.
You're a puzzle person?
Yes.
I'm a huge puzzle person.
Yes.
I love puzzles. I currently have 4 of them up on my wall and 1 underneath my laptop right now.
Okay.
And so I hodgepodge them together so they stay together. Because I'm like, that took me way too many hours to just destroy.
Yes. I'm aware. Like, I have a twin, and we did it was 1,000-piece one together, and she was like, I am not destroying this. And I'm like, I understand. I know you put so much work, and it's a lot. It's not just I can't just put it back in the box. I can't.
Yes. So Liz, we wanted, well, me and maybe Nick and the guests would like to know, like, are you binge watching anything? What do you do in your off time?
Oh, I am currently watching Lost.
Okay.
My boyfriend put me on to that show, and so we've been watching it together. It's like our thing that we do together.
Okay.
And then I'm big time into the gym. I'm in the gym six days a week.
Okay.
Yes.
So you could be like a trainer, because like you're like big time. Like 6 days a week is for real. That's like commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of the last 6 months of my life has been recovery from spinal surgery.
Okay.
Yeah. But puzzles, reading, being outside, even though it's winter, it's cold right now, but it's beautiful here in Washington. Solid blue skies right now and the sun's out. So just trying to get outside when I can.
Yes.
That's Lost tells me you're committed, because Lost is like 40 minutes with like 20 episodes per season. So you're committed. Like, that is not just I'm gonna hop in 10 episodes type thing. So just a little observation. Yeah,
we're like 8 seasons into or we are 2 seasons in, 8 episodes into season 2
Got you.
right now.
Got you. My brother's seen it though, but he said it's like excellent. So from my
It
just
is. It's very
okay.
good.
Okay.
So, what books are you reading, or are you into like a certain genre or chapter a little bit? Yes, I mean not chapter, but a book that has different series.
Yeah, I'm a big romance book girly.
Okay.
I love the romance books.
Yes.
Got you.
Um, I also love thrillers or like true crime, mystery. Um,
If you're looking true crime, where's the book? Where's the book? Here it is. Firekeeper's Daughter. True crime. It's a thriller. It's great. It's oh my goodness, it's so good. It's like this girl, she's like trying to figure out her uncle's death. And so she goes to these FBI agents and she's trying to figure out like how he died, but he was working for the FBI. Like really, really good. I'm telling you, I just finished it
ooh,
like 3, 4 months ago. You if you love thrillers and love like true crime, this is it. I'm telling you.
that sounds
It's fictional, it's
amazing.
not real, but it's in that vein.
Yeah.
Yes, that sounds great. And then I love reading up on my what's going on with my body. Like
Okay.
the more books and literature I can read about what's going on, the better.
Got you.
And that has played out in ways in my life that I never really thought that it would. I have a really good friend of mine, and her and I, we walk every week together. That's like our catch up, hang out, girly time. And we have a lot of conversations around what's going on with my body. Because she sees things in people around her that are very similar to me. So I've been able to share what I've learned from these books and what I've learned from living with all the things going on.
Yeah.
And then also sharing those books with her. She's been able to pass on a couple books on like ADHD and how mental health plays so much into physical health and the other way around.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like a lot of like connective tissue disorders play hand in hand with ADHD, autism, things in the mental realm
Yeah.
also play so prevalently in the physical realm.
I have like a
And
two-part
so like,
question.
oh yeah, go ahead.
Like, number one, how do you feel like you learned all this stuff? You've had this surgery. Like, how do you just about your health overall, mental, physical, everything?
Yeah, there are days where I am so overwhelmed. Just thinking about the list and everything that's going on with my body. And sometimes I just feel so alone because there is really no one else in my life who deals with a lot of the same things I do. Like even my
Hmm.
own family. Like I'm this like kind of oddball character out from my parents and my sister.
Hmm.
Um, Pretty sure most of my family has ADHD, but only my sister and I are officially diagnosed. But they
Hmm.
don't really have any of the medical side. And
Hmm.
so trying to, you know, go to all these doctor's appointments, battle with insurance, like all these, be an advocate, do research. Like sometimes it's very alone feeling, but then at the same time, I have such an amazing support system in my life.
Hmm.
Like leading up to surgery, my boyfriend went to every single doctor's appointment with me, and my doctor is an hour and a half, 2 hours away.
Yeah.
So he would drive down with me, go to the doctor's appointments, make sure I'm hearing all the information correct. He was like my second person. And
Hmm.
then my mom spent every day in Seattle with me in the hospital while I was having my surgery. My sister and her boyfriend stopped by. Like,
That's great.
Yeah.
I have people checking in on me all the time to see how I'm doing. And just, I have never once had to ask for an accommodation to be made for me because they know me so well that they just automatically do the thing. Like, I've never once
Yeah.
felt like I'm too much with them,
That's
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
That's
which
amazing. That's
not
really amazing.
how it's always been. I mean, it's always
Hmm.
been that way with this group of people, but I've had people
Yeah.
in my life who have been like, you way too much to accommodate for.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that is just such a hard feeling because those people don't live in this body every day. They have
Oh
no
yeah.
idea what it takes just to get up out of bed every morning.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I always tell people like if you're chronically ill, disabled, anything, getting out of bed is a win. Like a win
Yep.
is a win is a win is a win, and that is
Yep.
a win. Like just sitting up, putting like I don't care, like just a win. That is like W game 7. I don't know what your sport is. If you're a sporty, you're okay. PR, you're a gym person, so your PR that is like everything. Seriously, just getting out of bed. So I totally understand that.
Yeah. But, those days where I feel so alone, I
Yeah.
just remember that I've got that amazing support system. And then really find finding my community through social media, which is not at all what I ever
Really?
thought I would be doing with my life. But I've really built a
Wow.
community like
Okay.
on TikTok,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
of people who have been already diagnosed with things or in the process of being diagnosed with things. I've learned so much from other creators on there. And
Mm.
like it, not to sound like the stereotypical mid-20s girl, but I was sad when there was a real chance of TikTok being taken away because
What? What? No, no, you're not meant anything. I was having a moment like, oh my gosh. So you're totally not
okay,
alone. I totally no. You're not. You are so in the same boat. I no, you're good. You're good. You're
because I
so
was
good.
like, there goes my community. Like people who have
Yeah,
the same
yeah,
thing I do and they understand.
Yes.
There's
yeah,
just this
yeah,
deeper understanding when you are also
yeah.
dealing with it that people who
Mm-hmm.
aren't dealing with it just physically can't understand. And I don't ever want them to
Mm-hmm.
understand. I don't ever want
Yeah.
my people in my life that I
Yeah.
love to be battling the same things I'm battling.
Yeah. My cousin, we were watching a Mike Tyson fight, and he said, well, would I break my hip for 20 million? Or it was like a general question to like the group. And he was like, I remember Nick when he had his hip replaced, because I had both my hips replaced from my sickle cell. And he was like, I remember what Nick went through, and I don't think it's worth it. Like, he was like, that was some of the worst I've ever seen Nick. And he was like, I don't know if it's like, yeah, your money is looking great. Your bank account is on, on full, extra full. But is it? And I was like, he understands, he gets it. And so to have that
Yep.
community that you don't have to explain, it's like they have a short, you just can tell them or you can look and and they get it. I totally understand that. And I know that feeling of that alone feeling is a lot. It is. And social media has definitely been a help. I mean, as we wrap it up, is there any way that people, if they do want to say, hey, like Liz, her story has been very helpful, impactful, how they can follow you, reach you, contact you, anything?
Yeah. My TikTok is chronically ill teacher,
Okay.
or if you type in Liz Rosales, that
Got you.
should
Got
also
you.
bring
Got
it
you.
up.
Maybe DM you about information or whatever.
Yes, I'm always open. If people want
Yeah.
to reach out, I love having conversations and giving people as much information as I also know. That's really like the main place that I post about
Okay.
my chronic illness and like things of life. I'm not like I'm
Got you.
open about that on my other social media, but not to the
Mm,
extent that I am
okay.
Yeah.
TikTok.
Got you. Got you. Now, TikTok, it's a freedom on TikTok. It's hard
Yeah.
to describe. I
Yeah.
don't really know. Like, I felt the same way. Like, I've shared things on TikTok that I've like never shared anywhere else. So, yeah, I get that.
Yes, yes. Liz, we want to thank you for being our first guest. You were amazing. You gave some good information, and we really enjoy your story. Yes,
Thank you so much, and
Yeah,
thanks for
thanks, Liz.
having
We
me.
can't thank you
I
enough.
was
Like,
yes,
this has been like so awesome.
yes. It was
I'm so
good.
excited to see where this goes for both of you.